Welcome to another episode of TeaDB 361. Oh man, we didn't even do anything special for episode 357. The size of a standard size Pu'erh
Got it,
cake.
okay, I was like...
It's been a while since I've seen other people.
Yeah. How do you human again? How do you social? What are we drinking? What do we got?
So we are drinking some 1980s, supposedly 7581.
Okay.
A long time ago in a land far away called February, I went to San Diego and I met up with a friend, tea friend there, and he was kind enough to give me a bunch of samples, none of which I have tried yet. I was hoping to bring them on to TeaDB.
Awesome.
And I don't think we filmed a single TeaDB after that. So,
no. Yeah. Sweet.
So this is some old ripe that we are going to partake in.
Ripe.
I think he got it from Taiwan.
Okay.
When in doubt, guess Taiwan.
What was the very beginning of the era?
Sort of see it's like a brick.
When ripe was actually started to be a thing. Do you know?
It was invented in mid-70s, 74, 75.
So I mean, this was like early in the ripe Pu'erh history.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Excited. And these are always fun too because they really do change a lot still.
Yeah.
Just the flavor profile over time. So, beautiful color.
Yeah, pretty light too, all things considered.
And really clean. Look at how beautiful that is. It's crazy that you can actually see it now. That chai.
Beautiful color.
It looks immaculate. I mean, the condition of the actual source material looks incredible. Or rather, the liqueur is completely clear. Looks like it's gonna burn my nostrils.
That's a favorite pastime. It's been forever since my nostrils have been burned.
There's such a wonderful sweetness that is juxtaposed to those kind of like gardeny, intense earthy flavors that's so unique. It's so hard to find something like that in it's just like an ingredient.
Right.
And so good. It's such a trip that this is all the same stuff. It blows my mind constantly.
Yeah. There's just some old stuff.
That's one thing actually that I tell people about as like a tea fact that everyone doesn't believe.
What?
That they're like green tea and black tea are different, or the same plant.
They don't believe that?
No.
Why is that so hard to believe? Because they're so different.
Because they're so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And because the average person who's, just drinking Lipton.
Yeah.
And then they're Lipton green, look at that color now. My God, that got a lot darker. But no judgment at all. It's funny though. It's like it's kind of an unbelievable fact. And historically, when whoever his name was went to China as like a spy botanist,
the British.
Yeah, the British guy. He's like looking for two tea plants, and then finds out that they're the same plant. So I mean, definitely a meme. Look at the oils too.
I know, it's really
beautiful.
swirling.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Smell this.
One thing that I'm noting is that the color is not that dark as I would expect. It's dark and it smells like ripe, but for this one, so it leads me to believe the storage for this isn't too danky, if the age is to be believed.
Really. Yeah, it smells wonderful. All right, let's do it. This looks hot.
Yes, it does.
Texturally incredible, just out the gate already. I just love the viscosity of these ripes.
Right. Not very danky either. Very clean.
Not at all.
Kind of got this like almost soft, velvety texture to it.
Yeah, I love that part of this. I mean, and it's not a taste, right? It's a physical feeling of the tea, but it's still so much part of the experience and so much a characteristic of the tea itself. So good. And then just like that ripe finish.
Mm-hmm. And it's got that sort of like really Chinese spice red date thing going on that I think is really sort of characteristic for this recipe. You can really taste it.
Yeah. In terms of the fruit.
Right. I'm not going to waste this tea, so I'm just going to stack.
Yeah, cool with me. Really awesome. So this was originally purchased in Taiwan or shipped from Taiwan?
I think Peter got it from Taiwan.
Nice.
And before that, it was presumably in Taiwan for probably quite a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, wonderfully stored, so clean.
Yeah.
Beautiful color, and
thank you, Chai.
yeah, and an incredible aftertaste too. Really enjoying it. And for the first steeping, I know you said that it looked light, but actually I think it really, it wasn't too strong. It didn't have too much flavor. Clearly, there's more to go, but good balance.
Right. Just gotta awaken the beast.
Yum.
It's getting darker each infusion.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Much more earthy, minerally.
Yeah.
A little less, not less sweet, because it's just more of the other balancing flavors.
So what's the sort of context you would have something like this?
Something like this specifically, I would have in a fairly fancy, nuanced kind of like with a friend.
Do you think that's because it's rare, or just because the profile is kind of unique?
Definitely because it's rare. Okay, but also I think that I think there's a. So I had tea with someone I know through the Make Your Own Gear community in Salt Lake City, and he was like
pre-COVID.
This was in 2019, in like January 2019, a while ago.
A COVID party. Guy ones were out.
So I made this tea for him, and he's like, "Oh, it's good, it's sweet." And I'm like, "Anything else from that at all? Whatever. No judgment at all." And he's like, "Not really." And I'm like, "Okay, let's try this one. It's a ripe pu'erh. It's just very, it'll be different." And he's like, "I don't know, man. I'm not sure I'm able to just like figure this out." And I'm like, "Just try it."
Yeah.
He's like, "Okay, yeah, this is a lot different." And so sometimes you can't really, for a newer tea drinker, you might not know all of the nuances of what you're having, but you can at least say, wow, this is different and interesting. I think this would be tasty for any tea drinker. It's just not very abrasive. But this is something that I think if you had more of a context of these sorts of teas, it would be much more appealing and enjoyable.
Right. I think you make a good point there. It's sort of like this isn't something that someone that's new to tea drinking couldn't enjoy,
right?
But it might be best to lead with something a little more normal, and then provide this tea as a sort of like interesting contrast.
Totally, yeah. And there's something fascinating about the experience of having something that tastes like sweet bark and like sticks. And there's kind of like, if you like root beers or like natural, artisanal root beers or something like that, you might be exposed to some of those sorts of like sassafras like flavors, but this brings a whole new flavor profile to, I think, a lot of people who wouldn't have otherwise had something like this.
Right.
Yeah, really tasty.
I don't know what the hell sassafras is, but that's a cool word.
Sassafras.
I need to learn it so I can bring out the vocab,
I think sassafras root is what root beer is made out of.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is it the root?
I think it's the root. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it is. Huh. It's always so remarkable how sweet these are.
Right.
Someone in the comments, please correct me about the sassafras thing. I'm probably wrong, but
no, this is TeaDB.
Yeah, we're always right.
We're world creating here, so we make our own words.
We're doing Tolkien stuff.
Oolong is the tea of the dwarves.
There we go. We haven't been seeing people for a while. Oh man.
So how do you let's do another infusion here, but how do you place this tea as far as like ripe goes? Like, do you think this is pretty obviously a ripe. Do you think it's unique as far as ripe goes?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it does taste like an old ripe. And I think the category that would bring me there would be like you had mentioned that kind of like red plumminess.
Right.
And then I think that the age that when you mentioned like the Chinese spices, I think that kind of comes from more of the age of it. That sort of like vegetable patch, tomato vine kind of earthiness to it in the front. That to me feels like the age on it, and then it comes right back into a sweet, balanced, barky, just kind of fall leaves, but not at all dank or sour or anything like that. Really great. I mean, yeah. Did you guys drink stuff like this when you guys hung out?
Oh man, February feels like 4 months,
yeah.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
I think we may have had a thing or two sort of like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, super, super tasty. I love the texture of it too.
Really easy to drink.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I think that's to the point of like, is this tea approachable? It's approachable. It's just something that if you had more of a context for it, I think you would appreciate it more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, with us and the NBA coming back, people finally have their entertainment.
Yeah.
Just wanted to mention us and LeBron in the same sentence.
Right, yeah. We're on similar standing and footing. Yeah.
Similar cultural footprints,
Totally.
Yeah. We've got our own bubble here in Seattle. They're in
we'll have our
opposite part.
The decision. TeaDB, the decision.
Yeah.
That'll be our next April Fool's joke.
What the heck are we deciding?
I don't know. Yeah. No idea. Mm. So like mom test, backpacking tests.
I would think this would do very well at the backpacking test.
I think so too.
I think more the reason for the backpacking test you wouldn't bring it is the rarity part.
Fair enough.
But honestly, pretty forgiving, I think, when you brew it.
Yeah.
I'm pushing this pretty darn hard now, so we'll see. And it's just constant.
God, it's beautiful.
I don't see any reason not to push it hard, really.
Yeah.
There's no bitterness or stringency that's going to come back and get you.
Yeah, totally.
So it just sort of enhances the flavors there. Mom test, I mean, if you're going to do it, I don't think it's a bad idea to do it. It wouldn't probably be a first pick. If you only get one try with the Madre, then I would not go with this. But if you're like Denny and you have like a couple teas and you start off with something like the Dunchong Oolong from last time, a little bit of duck shit to loosen the bowels, and then you go in with the 7-5-8-1, like the 1-2, it's not the worst combination. But I do think this will blow some people's mind because it kind of defies people's image of what tea is.
Totally. Yeah, totally. It's a whole new flavor profile. I think people who really enjoy trying different types of coffee, for example, they're going to really enjoy something like this, even if they're not a tea drinker.
Right.
And if you're someone who likes to go to your little cafe, then this would be a super interesting tea.
Right.
I can't say that it's like... unlike something that's going to be just floral and sweet and bright, this is going to be a little bit more of a polarizing flavor profile. But, whatever. I think a lot of people would still enjoy it, or at least find it interesting.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. If you're someone that is, like, open to a lot of different flavors and experiences and likes to try different types of food, I think this would be definitely almost a must-try. Yeah. Some sort of older sort of tea.
Yeah.
Just to sort of expand.
And this isn't, like, gettable.
No.
Unfortunately, we're all like, mom tried. You can't get it, but
you know what? You can get old ripe. So seek out some ripe that's 15, 20 years old, and see how you like it.
Totally, and to be clear too, while there is plenty of variety in the category of old ripe, there's still lots of overlap, lots of similarity. You're going to understand in some sense what we're drinking by having an old ripe in general. Really good. And yeah, I mean, just, I don't know. I think, yeah, you're right. Like, you could push this hard, and it would be fine.
Like, I wonder a bit what happens if you just started with, like, 5-minute steeps. It's like, I'm not really sure how it would turn out.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting.
It would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, really nice, just texture, too. Yeah, this is a win.
Yeah, great tea. Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, what would you recommend for people who wanted to get something like this? Where would we, Taobao? Like, I don't know.
Go to Yunnan sourcing, buy the oldest thing they have.
Yeah, okay.
The oldest
You're right.
they have that's like fits your price range.
Yeah.
And you buy a sample.
Right.
And honestly, it probably won't set you back more than $20-$25.
No,
So.
no, yeah. Nothing crazier than just doing like a, fancy cafe or something like that.
Right. But, I mean, I think it's worth noting that there's, sometimes there's some pretty interesting stuff that occurs to these older, ripe teas.
Right.
Even though it's a tea that I think most people will drink when it's younger.
And it doesn't, for how old this is, it's 30 years old almost. Like,
I mean, it might be older than that.
Right. Yeah. There's so much sweetness still.
Absolutely.
Right?
100%.
Yeah. Incredible tea. Totally trips me out every time we have old teas like this. They're still, like, really good. And have evolved into being even more delicious and yummy. So, who is your friend that... Peter. Thank you, Peter.
Down in San Diego.
And we're filming episodes, so we don't know exactly what our schedule is going to be, as we said last time, but
yeah,
we're going to be just trying to get as much as we can.
Yeah, we got to talk to the commissioner of the TeaDB,
the commissioner
TBA league, and he'll release the schedule.
Yeah.
Oolong Silver,
our executive director.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching. If you guys like this, there's plenty more hilarity and stupidity and tea on TeaDB.org. Subscribe to the YouTube channel down below if you want. Send this to your friend if you want. And see you guys next time.
Cheers.